Reg, how are you?
Good morning, Theodore. I am so excited to walk the red carpet, not only with you, but my Danette family as well. I know we normally sit in the back and watch the boss man do his thing, but to be a united front team,
I like it.
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. Could you wear? Oh, you didn't go to the NBA draft when you were selected, right?
I did not. I was home in Riverside with my family watching it on, I believe it was on TBS at the time.
Okay, because I was wondering, I saw where Jalen Rose brought back his NBA draft suit, and I didn't know. You could still fit in your NBA draft suit if you had one, I'm guessing.
I'm assuming it was probably a sport coat and not a suit. I didn't have a suit back in the day. I had a lot of sport coats. I probably could, body-wise. I grew a little bit since my senior year, like an inch and a half, but I could make it work. I could rock it.
But I got you with jean shorts on. Like, are these white jeans when you're drafted?
I know, it was a bad look. I didn't know. I believe I had like a "Don't Foul Out" hat on or something like that. It wasn't a great look. More importantly, how about this? Look at the couch that was in our living room in Riverside.
Floral.
Come on, Saul and Carrie. The floral couch. Holy Moses. But it sure was comfortable. There was nice change in there. Pops would come home from the base, and he would fall asleep after work, and, quarters and dimes would fall out. We were on our way to 7-Eleven, so it was a comfortable couch.
I can see all of Cheryl's trophies in the background.
All of them. You see the smallest one there? Do you see the smallest trophy that's like behind us? That was mine. All those Naismith and big trophies and awards, those were all Cheryl Dean's.
All right, we'll talk about the draft, but here's a couple of things. The Lakers were told that San Antonio's not interested in trading Kawhi Leonard. That's the report. What do you make of that?
Well, duh. Why would San Antonio help a rival out? And why would they help form a potential super team, a team that they're going to have to go against 4 times during the regular season and potentially in the playoffs? If they are, which I still believe they are not going to deal Kawhi Leonard, they're going to deal him to the East, where they would only have to see him twice.
Yeah.
They are not going to trade Kawhi Leonard if they end up doing that to a Western Conference team. They are not going to help out any team out West.
All right, there was another, I saw this headline, and it said where Kobe Altman, who's the GM of the Cavs, said he had a good dialogue with LeBron's people. What would good dialogue constitute to you?
Mr. James, here's a blank check. I think the max can be 36 or 37 million. How would you want us, and which free agents do you want us to pursue? Who would you be willing to call to see if they are willing to come and play with you? A great dialogue is basically doing whatever LeBron James wants and needs for him to stay in Cleveland. So if that's getting Paul George, if that's bringing in Chris Paul, it's those type of conversations, if you're Mr. Altman, you have to have with LeBron James. At the end of the day, still believe he's going to leave. I mean, he's done everything that he said he'd wanted to do in Cleveland, and that's win a championship. And I just don't see free agents wanting to come to Cleveland and play with him. And to me, that's the biggest thing. And that's why I just think he has his bags packed. That's just my personal opinion.
Well, Charles Barkley and Shaq both said LeBron should not be chasing rings for his legacy. Now, these are two guys who chased rings. So what do you think of LeBron chasing rings?
Well, I just think wherever he ends up, you become a super team because he's going to be able to attract, other than Cleveland, free agents. So if he does go to Philadelphia, the infrastructure is already there with the young talent, with Embiid and Simmons and Saric. But Houston, you got, obviously Chris Paul if he opts in, and James Harden. You become a superpower with LeBron James. Look, his legacy is set. He is one of the greatest to ever play the game. And
But to be recognized as the greatest, you got to chase rings here, Reg. And I think LeBron, I don't think LeBron is going, I'm satisfied if I never play for another title again or I don't win another title.
Does that sound like LeBron James?
No.
I think LeBron James always has to be in the mix.
Yes.
So I don't think it's necessarily him chasing rings. I think he wants to assemble the best possible team or surround himself with the best possible talent and team to compete versus Golden State.
But if he stays in Cleveland, you're not chasing a ring. If you leave, then people are going to define that as chasing a ring.
Well, to me, it's about quality of life, too. And I believe his kids are getting ready to enter high school, and he's probably starting a new chapter in terms of that and their development. And from what I understand, they may be going to school out here in Los Angeles. So now that factors back in to oh, yes. So, I mean, Clippers and the Lakers are back in play, but I don't see him playing for the Lakers. So, to me, it's all about quality of life. I think his legacy, to me, is already set.
Wait, you don't see him playing for the Lakers? You see him if he goes out playing for the Clippers?
Possibly. I could see him more so playing for the Clippers than I would the Lakers.
Why?
I don't think he wants to follow in Kobe Bryant's shadow. I think if he goes to the Clippers, right now he could be arguably the greatest Clipper ever in 3 to 4 years. Right? If he played 3 or 4 years with the Clippers, he would be the greatest.
Okay. Who is the best Clipper of all time?
You would throw Blake. You would throw
Chris Paul.
Well, that's Chris Paul. Danny Manning.
Okay.
But look how hard we're having to think about this. Right? If LeBron James went to the Clippers, he would be the greatest Clipper of all time in one season.
So you think
in one season?
You just think that he does want to follow in Kobe's footsteps, and that'd be the biggest reason why he wouldn't go.
Big shadow. That's a big shadow because if he doesn't win, everyone's going to be like, well, he's not Kobe. And now it goes the pecking order. And remember, you and I are not supposed to be doing this, but regular fans are going to be like Michael, then Kobe, and then probably LeBron because he couldn't deliver a championship to the Lakers.
There were a lot of big guys drafted last night, and my point is, it's one thing to be 7 feet, but it's how you play at 7 feet.
Right.
And Durant's 7 feet, but he doesn't play like a 7-footer. So is the NBA shifting back at all to having a post presence here, or is this just an aberration of you had the best guys are at that size, and that doesn't mean that the league is skewing that way?
I will always take size, but if you look at most of the bigs that were drafted last night, other than even Bamba, Bamba can face you up and knock down a three. Jaren Jackson, even though it's a set shot, can face up and knock down threes when uncontested. DeAndre Ayton, the number one pick, he talks about wanting to be one of those players to play with his back to the basket, but he can face you up as well. It's been the sign of the times for our league. Your big men have to be able to do multiple things. You just can't play like Shaquille with your back to the basket and be dominant. You got to be able to face the defense and keep them honest by knocking down, a 15 to 18 footer. If you're good enough to stretch it out to the 3-point line, that's great. And also defensively, you've got to be able to switch all pick and rolls. That's the way our game has gone, and you've got to be able to move your feet at least 3 to 4 steps either way to keep the guard in front until the guard till your defensive guard can catch up. So that's what your big men have to be able to do in today's game, as opposed to just throwing it down low on the block and saying, go get me 25 points.
Who do you think emerged? If I gave you the top 5 players in the draft, and I took the rest of the field on who is going to have the most all-star appearances, would you take the top 5 players in the draft, or would you give me everybody else?
In this draft?
Yeah.
I would give you everyone else. It's hard to say what these guys are going to do. It's great, 7-footers, athleticism. Jay Billis kept harping on, and he's right about the wingspan, 6'5", but he got a 7-foot. I mean, I get all that. I get the analytics. But, Theodore, do you really know? I mean, are you really sold on DeAndre Ayton really turning around the fortunes of the Phoenix Suns? I'm not.
No.
I mean, Bagley, who I thought was great in his 1 year at Duke, but is he really going to change Sacramento Kings? Are they really like in contention now to make a playoff spot? I mean, they'll be better, I think, but you don't know. I do like what Atlanta did. I think getting the shooter, Kevin Huerter, and obviously Trae Young in that trade with Doncic, and then picking up Spellman. I thought Spellman was a fantastic player for Villanova on that championship team. I like those three pieces for Atlanta. They'll be better, but again, at the end of the day, they're still three rookies, but they'll be better in time. They can grow together.
Yeah, I would take the rest of the field. I'm just not sure. I don't know if there's one of those transcendent franchise players in the draft. I said yesterday that I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas went after Doncic, just because if you can get him and put him in there with Dennis Smith Jr., with one more year with Dirk, maybe that's a nice transitional guy you can have. Dirk can help him with the transition. You have now you're interesting to watch. And as you know, Orlando has been irrelevant because there's just no reason to watch them. Atlanta, there's no reason to watch them. I'm going to watch with Trae Young. Sacramento, there's a mild curiosity I have with Sacramento. They may accidentally get it right, but you just don't want to be irrelevant. And some of these franchises are irrelevant, and even these draft picks, like Jaren Jackson Jr. He could be a great player, but he's playing in Memphis. And
Are you really going to watch Memphis?
No.
I mean, it's great.
No.
Don't get me wrong. And he's going to be teamed with Marc Gasol and obviously
Mike Conley Jr.
Mike Conley coming back from injury, so that helps. But, okay, are you tuning in? Oh, my God, the Memphis Grizzlies are on because Jaren Jackson Jr. is playing? No. But I want to see, and you talked about Luka Doncic. I mean, what a perfect fit for one more year to learn under Dirk Nowitzki. I would park my locker right next to his, and every day I would come in with an index card with a question on it saying, Mr. Nowitzki, can you please answer this question? And, yes, I would address him as Mr. Can you please answer this question for me? And I would have a question every single day for Dirk if I was Luka.
Can you teach that move, the Dirk move?
Well, Kevin Durant picked it up, so obviously you can teach it.
But why don't more guys do that? Because it already gives me separation where I can kick my leg out and I've got separation from you, and the fact that I'm 7 feet tall, so it's really hard to block Durant and Dirk's shot.
Well, number one, you've got to be an elite scorer like those two guys have been throughout their whole careers. And you've got to have size. I mean, both are 7-footers and both have high release points on their jump shots. Now you're telling me that they have that separation because of that, what is it, a knee or a...
I think it's a knee.
It's a knee. There's no way you're blocking that shot. And you're fading away a little bit as well. But, yeah, it's very difficult to master. Those are two of the best. Obviously, Dirk created it, but Kevin Durant has put a new spin on it.
I got into this text discussion with Darius Rucker, and he said, you're starting your team, Vince Carter or Dirk Nowitzki.
Wow. Wow, that's very good. I may go with Dirk.
Yeah, I would too.
I may go with Dirk.
If I have a chance to win, I want Dirk. If I have a chance to just be average and I want to entertain, then I got Vince Carter.
And sell tickets, yeah. But I'm not discrediting Vince because Vince, obviously a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah.
But at least Dirk is a double-double too, points and rebounds. Young Dirk, right?
We had a guy who drove up from Tampa with his family just to ask a question in the parking lot, and he asked McLovin, asked Dan if Carmelo Anthony's a Hall of Famer, and I went, he drove all the way from Tampa for an obvious answer? Like, Melo's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Remember, people, it's body of work. And remember, he won an NCAA championship at Syracuse.
Okay, who would go in first, Carmelo or Vince?
Carmelo.
Just because of the title in college, or is Is he a better player?
Well, let me see. Paulie, look this up. In terms of points, who's ahead right now? I believe Carmelo's at, 24 or 25, right? 1,000 points. Right now, I would have to say Carmelo.
Vince is probably low 20s, isn't he?
He's low 20s, right. So points-wise, I think Carmelo's ahead of him. Both are going in. Both will be first ballot. But I believe Carmelo's at least 24 or 25,000 points.
I've got, this is closer than you'd expect. Carmelo Anthony is at 25,417 points. Vince Carter, still counting, is at 24,868.
Wow.
Less than 1,000.
Wow. Wow. Well, because of the Syracuse chip, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's got to mean something, and won it as a freshman.
You know, how many guys would take Vince Carter's jumping skills at 41? Like if you said like you're coming into the league and you're going to jump like Vince Carter at 41.
Yeah. Well, this is a guy that kept his body in immaculate shape, so it's not surprising.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, so next week's a big week for us, Reg. We got red carpet.
I cannot wait. Red carpet.
After
Tuesday.
Party, obviously. I mean, we're going to.
Oh, yeah. We're toasting, baby.
Really?
After party with my Danettes and you, obviously, Theodore.
Is there bottle service, Reg?
There better be bottle service. We better talk to Lionsgate. Come on, Lionsgate.
Wait. When's the last time you went to a club and had bottle service?
I know. I'm up here just whooping like I'm in the club. I know. That's why. It's going to be fun. It's been a while since I've been in a club.
We'll get who was first team all club when you played?
First team. Oh, well, Rodman. He's probably CEO, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I would go with Rodman. First team all club.
Did you ever smell alcohol in Rodman?
No.
Okay.
But you could just look in his eyes like he had one of them kind of nights. And it was almost like not only did he have one of those kind of nights, man, you kind of wish you were with him because he was at probably some nice strip clubs. He probably had all the girls around him. Dude partied hard, but he played harder on the court.
Reg,
so he got it done.
I don't think you could have hung with Rodman.
No, I know I could.
You wouldn't want to hang with Rodman.
A little bit.
No, I saw it up close one night in Chicago, and I went, man, nope, can't, nope. Nope.
Okay.
He had the entire bar, a private bar that was full of kamikazes.
Oh my God. I think I just threw up in my mouth.
And every time you went to get a beer, he made you do a kamikaze. Every single time because he was controlling the bar tab. And he's like, bro, he'd always call me Sager. He'd go, hey Sager, do a shot. So I'd do a kamikaze. I'm just getting a Budweiser there. And he had his arm around a guy and a girl with a Chicago police shirt on. And who knows what happened after that. I just know that Dennis did not get cheated that night.
Yes.
Yeah,
right.
you don't want that.
I cannot. No, I don't want that.
By
My
the way,
liver does not want that.
Rodman's best game ever came against you guys.
What were his numbers?
March of 92. Rodman had 34 rebounds.
While a member of the Bulls or a member of the Pistons?
It was March of 92. I'm going to guess.
Or was he with the Spurs?
He was with the Spurs, and he had 34 rebounds when he was with Spurs.
Oh, my God. Come on, Dale and Antonio Davis. Keep him off the glass.
Yeah.
Come on, Rick Smits.
But he didn't guard you, did he?
No. Well, yes, on switches.
Oh, okay. But he didn't. He would never. You were the best.
No, he would never. No, he's not that dumb. He's dumb. He was good, but he wasn't that dumb. He's not going to start off. Now, he might switch on a switch or coming off a screen, he might show out. But he's not, not off tip ball. No, he's not that dumb.
And he knows better. He had 6.
He knows better.
How many did Reggie have in that game?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and did we win or lose? If he got 34 rebounds, they better have won.
Rodman had 34 rebounds and 10 points. Reggie, oh, no.
Oh, no. That bad?
Did Reg get double figures?
Reg was 3 for 6 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3, and only 6 points in 36 minutes.
What the heck?
In 92? In 1992?
Rodman shut you down.
Oh, no.
He did. Maybe he did guard me that night. Oh, maybe I was ejected. Well, how many minutes did I play?
You played
That'll tell me a lot.
You played 36 minutes.
Yeah, then he guarded me. Oh, man.
You know who outscored you? Greg Dreiling.
I'm telling you, I was in foul trouble then, maybe. 92. So who was my coach in 92? I'm going to go with who was our coach in 1992?
Wait, you're going to blame your coach?
Yeah, that's what the modern-day players do now. They always blame the coach.
I like it. 6 points, Reg.
Look at that again. 6 points. Are you sure about that, Paulie? In 1992?
I hate to say it. Michael Williams, some guy named Michael Williams had 28 for you guys.
He carried us.
Yeah, Fritzy.
He carried us.
Bob Hill, head coach of the Indiana Pacers.
Bob Hill was holding me back. That's what it was. Where was the game played? In the Alamo Dome or in Market Square?
It was actually at the Pistons. It was a Pistons game. Pacers Pistons.
Oh, it was a Pistons. Ooh. Oh, I know what happened. I was getting hit repeatedly.
Oh, bad
by
boys.
Rodman. Yes, it was the bad
boys.
It was Joe Dumars.
He shut
That's
you.
what it was.
Well, there's no shame.
Now it makes sense.
There's no shame.
I'm going to say San Antonio. Now it's no shame. Now it's making sense. Okay, because if it was the Spurs, I'm really disappointed that I only had 6 points versus the Spurs in '92. But now that you said bad boys. Okay, yeah, I was getting my bell rung. That's what happened.
Shut you down. All right, we'll see you next week. We got the premiere of Uncle Drew, and then Reg will join us in studio as well. So I'll talk to you next week.
You're the best, Theodore. Danettes, love y'all.
That's Reggie Aloysius Miller.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.